We expose scandal after scandal of the glossy lifestyle of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Hello my fellow truth seekers, welcome back to our channel, #shorts. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. And for the hottest scoop on royalty, we are here. So get ready, King Charles just went thermonuclear on his wayward son Harry, and it was magnificent. King Charles earlier today came to Portsmouth for D-Day commemorations and delivered stirring speeches about wartime sacrifice and the values of democracy. All par for the course, really, dignified, gracious in his ceremonial duties, true to form the king. But as the event was coming to an end, something quite remarkable occurred. Then, in a dramatic break from protocol, King Charles eschewed the read more. Turning to Harry and Meghan, he then solemnly declared in a manner that left the audience gobsmacked, "You're a pair of deluded clowns, who've spent the week trashing the monarchy and the Queen, right from your $14 million mansion in California. Piers says, you've ditched your own family. Get lost and never return." This declaration was fucking audacious. Here was a stone-cold power move from the Queen, a public slapdown of Harry and Meghan, the message clear and undisguised. The king, who is nowadays rather known as a calm and composed presence, displayed a side to him that newer generations have never witnessed. It was like he had finally dug out his alpha dog instinct and was no longer going to enable his bratty, entitled son and his triggering, conniving wife. But before we start sinking into the chaotic oceans of this realization, if you have not yet, please subscribe and turn on the post notifications. You do not want to miss the fire that we are bringing your way. Where does this put the Duke and Duchess of Sussex then? But the question of whether the couple should keep their status as royals has rumbled on since they stepped back into a new life in America. King Charles's public disowning of them is a cast-iron guarantee they are out of the British royal family fold forever. It has solidified uncertainty around what the couple's titles will be going forward, how they will interact with the rest of the royal family, and what the British public think about them. This bombshell declaration is guaranteed to incite major controversy in its wake. The dramatic fall of the Sussexes is likely to have huge ramifications as Harry and Meghan have built their new lives around their face-to-face connection with their royal relatives. That declaration will be waited for by champions and challengers of King Charles's position. So all in all, today has helped yet another eventful installment to the never-ending tale of Harry and Meghan. King Charles was galled by James and his husband after his unexpected outburst at the D-Day commemorations that was sent tremors through the royal family and the wider public, revealing the lines drawn between them are stark and immediate as they never have been. It was gloves completely off, for crying out loud, on one of the most prestigious international stages imaginable. You could see the raw anger boiling behind those eyes as he stared directly down the lens at Harry and Meghan, making absolutely sure his message was heard loud and clear. A man whose entire life was being disassembled by their never-ending cascade of fantasy and lies entered the room, and he knew he was done with the nonsense. Allow no longer their liberties to just pop open their skulls with mouths they bought with ranks and titles they repeatedly violate. For the sake of the future of the firm, these malignancies must be removed completely, and let us take a moment to recognize the truly incredible savagery of pulling this move on D-Day of all days. Elsewhere, everywhere else in the free world, celebrating the struggles of the greatest generation to defend democracy and by extension, human decency itself. Charles took this opportunity to reinforce his long-standing message to those two dishonest pretenders, who have been masquerading as people of faith and devoted to the preservation of the monarchy for years now, that taking part in continued efforts to undermine the monarchy itself is no longer going to be tolerated. It is a disrespect to the sacrifices made by those of their countrymen who understood what duty and family mean as to why they live in exile. He did, and he rightly did so. Charles could no longer pretend that the self-privileging, entitled rebels that Harry and Meghan represented had any depth of honor or loyalty for the traditions and values of the monarchy beyond their own self-interest and their delusional narratives of victimhood. This charade ends now. At that moment, Charles understood something deeply, as was clear from the twinkle in his eye. So whatever in our pity or appeasement, it goes nowhere with the one who receives this consciousness, with the one whose "'cause I already know enough." Charles Herman, an Elepathet O'Fregal authority and special responsibility, executed the almost 3 public service, and whose soul disputes those people that have a natural leaning to realize the actual limits in their rank and folks that attempt to use them. It was not just a recrimination, it was a line in the sand. The monarchy, with its traditions and duties reaching back over centuries, had made a strong statement that it would not be an adjunct to self-promoting efforts to diminish its relevance. He spoke not only for himself but for the countless number of people who have sacrificed their lives to preserve the crown. The message was clear: gone were the days when those could be pieces of shit to the max. In the piece, Charles took a stance for the principles keeping the monarchy in one piece across conflicts, political changes, and societal turns. This was no longer about taking care of personal business. It was about protecting an institution which arguably stood at the very heart of the nation and unity. In echoing the brave souls that fought during D-Day, Charles went on to argue that a similarly insidious threat continues in the realm of the nefarious dark forces, fighting the very soul of the monarchy itself. He praised the braves who fought tyranny and oppression, emphasizing the huge difference between the nobles and the hood, when standing at the window wherever they were stationed. The way he was speaking was as poetic as the words he spoke. He highlighted the gravity of his message by choosing D-Day, a striking symbol of perseverance and sacrifice in the face of impossible odds. It was more of a rallying cry than a physical point of congregation, a call to arms, not for seizing physical territory, but defending the values and traditions hitherto deemed intrinsic to the monarchy. The sheer doggedness of Charles, a determination to defend what he holds dear and, by doing so, take on the other side, the side that continues to attack the office of the head of state with the impertinence of feral youths challenging the authority of a teacher or a lollipop lady. At the end, Charles spoke brilliantly, and he showed strength and leadership in his address. He demonstrated that real power does not derive from titles or wealth, but lies in unwavering commitment to the responsibilities of the office, to the aegis of dignity, and finally to the welfare of all. The ripple extended well beyond the room and went on to ripple out into the nation and the world. It was a timely reminder that, for all its shortcomings, the monarchy continues to be a vital institution that we should all. Charles's defiant gesture ensures the school's name will continue to be unsoiled by those who fail to understand what it truly stands for. It is time to stop coddling them in managing their perennial hostage tactics. We have entered the era of no-holds-barred beating you over the head horse **T. They should be driven back to the outer darkness from whence they came, where there are no titles, no patronages, or coats of arms that they use while hurling unfounded allegations against what they neither belong to in reality nor to which title they are entitled. In other words, their royal titles have been removed and they will be treated as a non-person with no history being recorded about them for all time, like Voldemort. A blistering slap of epic proportions. Expect the Montecito Muppets will respond any day now with high-minded mewling about little lives rent asunder, not their grand poobah pulling the trigger in a spectacular eviction from Frogmore by King Charles. Expect a deluge of warped accusations, press manipulations, and potentially a bank of audio or video footage illegally sourced from the palace that has been twisted into something malicious to compound the erosion of trust. Meghan might try to rally her defenders with some old contrived nonsense about unconscious biases and silencing truth, or the like. But you know what? Who bloody cares anymore? From the moment he deserted the very idea of duty and integrity, or even his own family, to sacrifice the whole shebang to the ghastly altar of his soulless, money-obsessed bride, Harry disowned himself from the Windsor values weeks ago. Give them the public shaming that they deserve and let them choke on it while slipping into the soon-to-be obscurity. Their successful defiance against their own sinful father is like the ultimate royal man bites dog how terribly fucking wonderful tale of all time. They have flipped the royal colossal bird towards the basic virtues of the institution that they have sworn to attack. Their PR victimization has been exposed for the shallow self-serving vendetta publicity stunt machine that they are. But the institution they mock has endured, not because it never erred, but because it was built to change and renew itself, and for generations drew on the enduring values of service and tradition. For the Montecito pair, to disregard this is more than just a sin of offense, but an affront not limited to personal trespass, but a refusal of an eternal estate. The public is growing tired of being duped by their privacy antics, and for that, the pair has only themselves to blame. Every confetti life cycle and stretched tale only provides understand these folks have with the truth they promise to protect. In addition to penalties, Charles's treatment of things like tossing them out of Frogmore is seen as a clear keeping of the peace, and the jobs and duties that come with royal status. It serves as a reminder that titles and benefits are not merely decorations but are instead acquired through hard work and by living up to the values these roles represent. Even as they slide farther into the depths of obscurity, their pleas of unfairness will undoubtedly become more strident, but they will have fewer and fewer sympathetic listeners. The public, perhaps once easily sympathetic of the victims' sob stories, sees instead the display of a well-crafted narrative of only half-truths and spin unwinding. Then the Windsor legacy will survive, as it always has, nurtured by those who respect its fundamental principles, as the discontents who wish to subvert it from the inside will be left to languish in the footnotes of history. At the end of it all, their journey to independence will force them into a self-imposed exile, facing the cold hard fact that without lashing out at the institution they disdain so, they are just another couple struggling for relevancy in a world that doesn't need them anymore. And in that reality, cornered by the Sandringham Museum of the Future, they are face to face with their decisions, and whatever it is that follows as a natural course. The war raves on, and the enemies have been defined, officially. And finally, someone had the decency to say, "That's it. A.D. Bailey, for too long, we've been soft, keeping our lips stiff and sacrificing at the altar of these spoiled brats' rages full of self-evident lies and pretty half-truth. No more band-aids, no more covering up the empty and uncaring home life to keep their indecency in cash flow and TV time FaceTime. The monarchy has been a bastion of tradition, dignity and continuity for decades. But recent developments have raised questions about the future of this historic institution that long was the toast of the state. If the monarchy has an ounce of dignity and sense of public duty left, it cannot grant these two the thoughtless free rein to drag its name and ancient customs through the mud. At long last, it is the time to sear this cancerous blight and flush the blood of these venomous interlopers from the veins. Time and time again, the patience of the public has been tried. The British press smokescreen and melodrama, which never stops, have now obliterated the core of royal public service. The ensuing scandal after scandal, each one larger and more sensational than the last with woeful consistency, has been grim viewing for those of us, the people. The monarchy is in crisis, and there must be a quick fix. The monarchy, now inscribed at this point in history, can be and should be an inspiration for the generations to come as we look back on these tumultuous times. Today's decisions will be felt for generations and shape the legacy of the present generation of the House of Windsor. This is a moment of judgment on which side of the tide the monarchy does wish to hang on. Does it want to retain it as a holy institution for times immemorial, or will it bow down to the pressures of modernity? Well, what you guys think about that? Do you think the monarchy can ever recapture its previous glory, or will the steady stream of controversies just continue to be slung its way? Has the royal family got the hard skin to do what they have at the past for century? Leave me a comment and tell me what you think. In the meantime, check out all of our chilling tales and sordid expos on our YouTube channel. Make sure you follow, share and stay updated on all of our stories on the British royal family. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like and subscribe buttons, and we look forward to seeing you with more royal family news next time. Bye for now.